Welcome back to News Geelong. We commence sport this evening, looking back at last weekend's GCA finals.
Thank you, Alex. Looking at the Geelong cricket scene in semi-finals last weekend in Premier Cricket, Geelong batted first against Melbourne and after being 1-0, regrouped to finish 7 for 302, with Eamon Vines compiling a methodical 101. Rain then washed out any further play on the weekend, allowing Geelong now to move into the next round of finals to play Footscray Edgewater. On the local GCA scene in Division 1, the top 6 played off in the semi-finals, with North Geelong proving its worth as premiership favourites by defeating Newtown and Chewell. Jake Thorne continued his season brilliant form with 105 off the bat and then 4 for 34 with the ball. East Belmont regrouped from 6 for 54 to finish 6 for 157, defeating St Joseph's, which scored 155. And South Barwon, led by captain Joel Davies with 86 not out, and Brad Hornstein taking 5 for 43, defeated Grovedale by 2 runs. All games were rain affected on Saturday. This weekend, the preliminary finals will be played with North Geelong playing St Joseph's at Stinton Oval down at Newtown and Chewell, while South Barwon will face East Belmont at Winter Reserve. East Belmont, a home ground advantage? Question mark. And by the way, the GCA website has games starting at 12:30 a.m. A bit early, don't you think? I think it should be 12:30 p.m. Finally, congratulations to Barwon Heads on winning its 5th Ballaween Peninsula Cricket Association Grand Final in 9 seasons by defeating Queenscliff. And that's the cricket scene from around Geelong last weekend.
Yeah, the short answer is yes, at the moment. His recovery's been really, as expected, from a really minor sort of, it was more a twinge than any significant damage, so he's trained fully a couple of times, and at the moment we've got supreme confidence that he'll play. Obviously a few training sessions to go, so things can change, but the other thing we need to consider is the amount of work he's done, but that's a pretty, while it's a thorough and comprehensive discussion, it's pretty easy to be positive about his preparation, notwithstanding the games that he's missed, because he's had a fantastic preparation, especially pre-Christmas, in terms of time spent on the track. And I mean, the Adelaide coaches would know as well as anyone what a good athlete he is and what a good runner he is. So with the work he's got behind him, we're very confident that he'll be close to his best on Thursday night. Undecided, but they've both made very strong claims, not only individually but collectively as well. We've seen them together in combination through the pre-season. We've liked what we've seen. And then you throw Blitzarves into the mix, who is very different because he can play in the ruck and his ruckman height or just below, but he doesn't affect our run at all. So we feel like we could effectively take 3 ruckmen into a game, with one of them being our best runner. So it is a bit of a question of balance, but with regard to our run, then I don't think Blitzarves will compromise that at all. In fact, on the contrary. Yeah, I'm confident, but I'm not making any promises. I'm on record this pre-season as saying that some of the players we've lost are irreplaceable. I think it's a bit blasé to talk about how a really good player goes out and you just replace him with another one. We've got some young players, some inexperienced players who will play a lot of footy this year. We don't expect them to play as well as Stephen Motlop and Alan Christensen and Nathan Vardy, for example, but they're going to come in and do a job. But we think, while we do have some inexperience, we have quite a lot of depth. At times last season, we had probably over 30 players that we were happy to play in our AFL team, so that helps a little bit. But having said that, it's an unknown quantity. You know, our inexperienced players need to prove themselves, and we've seen good signs from them, but I'm not standing here giving you a guarantee that the injuries we've got won't hurt us during the season, but I am confident that we've taken some steps to prepare the guys just below those injured players to play AFL footy.
Well, we'll head to the local football scene now, heading to Leopold and catching up with their coach, Steve Clark. Well, Steve, welcome to News Geelong. Obviously, it's been a big pre-season. Can you tell us what have been the changes in the game plan?
Probably not a whole lot of changes in the game plan, mate. It's we've been working pretty hard over the last 3 years at just educating the guys on exactly how we want to play. So it's just been putting a lot of time into that and seeing the improvement, and obviously the new guys that come on board, getting them up to speed.
We saw that article by David Dowd a few weeks back. 10 big-name recruits and a handful of returning players. Could you give us some names that have really impressed you so far?
Yeah, look, it's probably been a bit of a... we've been lucky. A lot of guys that have played here that didn't play last year have been back on track. So a lot of guys that only played maybe half a dozen games, like your Greg Hardys, Guy O'Keefe's, Lee Thompsons, these sorts of guys are all on track and all fit and firing. So they've been really good. And then obviously we've got a couple of Falcons kids back in Jaden McHenry and Marcus Thompson, and then we've been able to add to that a couple of their mates from down the Falcons in Jai Cross, Will Langley, George Cameron. And then being able to get a bit more experience with a couple of guys from North Ballarat and Simon Close, and a couple of guys from the Bendigo, up at Bendigo, VFL, and Alex Highwood. So to name a few, I might have Alex Berry from the Falcons, so a Colac and Falcons, yeah. So we've been able to basically add to what we've needed to add to. Plus we've got the kids that we played last year from the under-18s. There's 6 or 7 of them that have come up now that are full-time seniors, so they've had a good taste of it last year.
Some great Falcons names that we've actually caught up with on News Geelong. You mentioned the juniors, 11 senior debutants in between the ages of about 16 and 19 last year. How have they found the pre-season in particular? I hear former Geelong superstar Andrew Buse has been working them up.
Yeah, no, they've been pretty good, and part of that is those guys have been taught how to train properly. So you find that the Falcons kids are probably almost more ready than some of the guys that have just coming up through the juniors. So Busey's been enormous with that. Like the 2 guys that done it beforehand were really good, but we just needed Busey had a program there that he didn't have to be here full time, and it just makes the guys accountable, so they can't hide. So that's been really solid. So no, they've been good. They've enjoyed it. A lot of them have commented it's the hardest one they've done, but they've been they haven't missed too much of it, and they've really enjoyed it. So.
There's been hard work off the field as well. It's my understanding Phil Carmichael's no longer the president. Can you tell us about that development?
Yeah, Phil had come back and he was just he's put in a huge amount of time at the footy club, and everyone sort of gets a bit hard at times, and he's got a family that he's got to spend some time with as well. And so Brendan Thompson's come on board as the new president, and there's a little bit of a changeover on the committee with vice presidents and so forth. So they're really vibrant. There's a lot of things happening off the ground. If you're no good off the ground, you won't be any good on it, and we're certainly in a good place off it.
Well, there's many variables on the field. I've got to finish off with one we've asked all the coaches. The fixture for 2014, what are the thoughts of the Leopold Footy Club?
It's a bit different, I suppose, this year. Like the last couple of years we've played with the graded draw, so we're sort of down around that bottom middle of the road this time. So we haven't got them all in a row, all the top sides from the year before in a row. So, I mean, you've got to play most of them. You've got to win enough games. If you've got enough, you'll get there. So it's the old cliche, though. I know everyone hates hearing it, but it is. We're just looking forward to Bell Park round 1.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing heaps of action in the local footy this year. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Easy done, mate. Thanks for coming down.
Exciting times at the Lions Den. Thanks for that interview, Steve. Well, we'll head back in towards the centre of Geelong now, stopping at the race course, catching up with our very own Mr. John Dunn.
Last Saturday's big crowd to attend the 2014 St Patrick's Cup was sent scurrying midway through the afternoon when a large electrical storm hit the track as it did the eastern states of Australia. Nevertheless, in the opening event, champion trainer David Hayes and leading jockey Dean Yindle, they're no strangers to the winner's stall, and they're at it again in the opening event when the debutante Rainbow Gold got the money. The Wes Hunter-trained mare Prussian Rain made it 2 wins from her past 3 starts when she proved far too good in the 0-58 handicap. Veteran jockey Darren Gauci made the 2-hour dash from Bendigo, where he rode earlier in the day, down to Geelong. He made it worthwhile when he partnered Cyclone Andy to score an easy win in the 2014 feature St Patrick's Cup. A good old-fashioned betting plunge came off when Repeatus proved too good in the final event. Backed in from $9 early in the day to start $3.80 favourite. Repeatus, well, he was the one punters wanted, and they got what they wanted in the final event. And that's the wrap-up of racing here, St Patrick's Cup 2014. We're on again this Sunday. Great chance to come and spread out in the lawns and have a day at the races, Sunday, March the 23rd, here at Geelong. Back to you at Cardinia Park, Alex. Tell me you got your licence last week. I'm sure it wasn't on Friday the 13th.
JD, thankfully we missed that by one day. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to some safe driving and some safe sport. Before I head back to Rollo though, I'd like to wish one of my heroes, Jimmy Bartel, all the best for his 250th game tomorrow night. Thanks for the memories, Jimmy. Hope to see some more action this season.
And thank you, Alex, for another look into the Geelong sporting arena. Now a look at the weather forecast for Geelong and the Surf Coast over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, Thursday, we'll see areas of morning fog, clearing to a nice sunny day with some light winds and an expected top of 22. Nice day for a bike ride, Cogsy. Friday will be sunny in the morning before some isolated showers and the chance of thunderstorms heading our way in the afternoon and evening. We expect a top of 26, Billy Ryan. Today was a partly cloudy day with some isolated showers this morning. We reached a top of 21 at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we will see the sunset this evening at 7:33 p.m. Yes, the daylight hours are getting shorter. And that's the weather outlook predicted for Geelong and the Surf Coast over the next couple of days. Thank you for being with us again on the only television news program coming from our great city of Geelong. Looking ahead to Saturday, April 5th, it is back. The Geelong and District Footy and Netball programs, with the ladies kick-starting the Saturday morning at 8 a.m, with a new outlook on the great game of netball, and then the boys with their big toys. The little grub from Werribee Centrals, together with the man of all class, no arse and top brass, Big Dick Philpott, and the GDFL Footy Show for 2014. A great way to start your day from the boys of Corio Bay.